Hello, I'm doing another recording for YouTube. Figured I would show a little bit about making a USB battery bank. I've done it a couple of times myself just for the fun of it, and I thought I'd share it with, both of my subscribers. So, what I have here with me is this tube. I 3D printed that, this end cap, and then an 18650 battery, this little PCB that's designed for charging, well, taking in 5 volts and putting out, I believe it's 4.1 volts, which is perfect for the 18650 batteries. And then I have this ribbon cable. Both of these items, the little PCB charging unit here and the ribbon cable, both came from Amazon. I really like them both. I have used actually quite a bit of this on different projects. Maybe one of these times I'll bust them out and show everybody. I'm using my Samsung Galaxy Note 10 to record this. A couple of stands also purchased from Amazon, and I am using a little application called Screen Copy so that I can see it up on my monitor, and it will also allow me to see things that are zoomed in because I'm starting to get old and I don't see all that great. So the other things that I have is a pine saw and some solder, and I do have some flux. The flux also came from Amazon. The pine saw actually came from the Pine Store, and it's a great little soldering iron. It's like 25 bucks plus shipping, and it does a really good range of temperatures. It heats up quick. It's easy to use. And I know I shouldn't be soldering directly onto batteries, but that's what I have to work with, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, there's all my tools. Everything pretty much all ready to go. Just getting my camera a little bit moved around here. Now, this board is slightly different than the ones that I was using on my other ones. I'll probably show one of those at the end of the video, but it doesn't quite fit as well around the edges, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit more cautious about how I put it in. The other ones had like a lip around the edge right there that held it into place really well. This doesn't, and well, even on the other ones I have to use hot glue to hold it into place, but I'll get out a cable and use that to hold this into a position where everything will connect, and then I will hot glue it from this side to make sure that it stays in place. The first thing that I will need to do, though, so I don't end up melting the plastic when I do all of this, is solder the wires onto here. And I'm going to need 2 different lengths of this wire here. This is why I really like this ribbon cable. I'm just going to split off 2. A little bit longer than the length of the battery. Give it a little extra. And give it a cut. Set the ribbon cable aside. Split these 2. Yes, I'm aware I shouldn't be cutting towards my hand, but I was being careful. Let's put them completely apart. And is, oh look, you can use red for positive. Now the positive doesn't have to be that long because it's just going to the top. But we do want enough room to work with. We will end up having to push it in. That's not that big a deal. Alright, so right about there. And that might be a little short, but we'll make it work. Now then, I'm going to try and not burn my phone when I do this. So I'm going to hold it off to the side, heat it up. And expose a little bit of metal there. What the heck, I'm here, I might as well do the other side too. Always fun on the one side, and it goes where you tell it to, but it covers up the other side. Yeah, there we go. Mess up my lovely mat here. And the mat also came from Amazon, but the board that it's sitting on is just an old headboard, or footboard I should say. Alright, now I have my USB-C cable, plug in my soldering iron, turn it on. I think that was pretty quick. Yeah. Okay. Get the pad. Computer, turn on Stampede.
Okay.
Ah, much better. Alright. And tin both of those pads. Yeah. And that is positive. Pre-tin the cable a little bit. And voila. Pre-tin the other side. Now this one I'm going to try a different technique on. I'm just going to heat it up with the iron instead of using the lighter. That seemed to work a little bit better. Ta-da! Alright. Well, that's good to go. Normally I would think about turning that off, but it's not going to be there real long, and my stand keeps it pretty well separated. Now, the battery, and trust me, don't do what I do. Scuff up that battery a little bit. Actually, you know what? Got the battery all nice and scuffed up. I am going to pre-tin it, but we're not going to attach the wires yet because I want that inside there before I do the actual attaching. Alright, now soldering iron went to sleep. Wake it back up. Yes, I have it set very, very hot. Do this around the camera. And okay, I don't think I got the scuffs deep enough. And you don't want to do this for an excessive amount of time, but you do want the solder to stick. Alright. You don't need a lot, but you do need it to stick. Yeah, I didn't scrape it enough. Something a little heavier. Too long on the battery, gonna go boom. There we go. Okay, now we don't need the soldering iron for a few minutes, so unplug it. Doing the stand, it's still hot. Alright, don't need that part yet, need this part. And a USB micro cable. Pull that off of there. Slide that into position. Yeah, this is definitely going to be hot glue holding it into place. Yeah, it's in real snug fit. And that's in, and pull it tight. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to work to make sure that's lined up. And put a lot of glue in to make sure it stays lined up. Alright, so we have that there. Very loose fitting. And we have this. I had a hot glue gun. It got up and ran away. What about that? No. Okay. And I don't usually try to do this, but I think I will this time. Hopefully I don't slice myself open. Yeah, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. That might still work. No, I am not a professional. If you can't tell. Alright, that slid into position on that side. That's good there. Goodish there. Ugh. That's not going to matter too much. Can I do the same on that side? No, I cannot. But we'll worry about that in a minute. We'll drop that there and get the hot glue on, and it'll cover up the terminal and sit in pretty well. Now, I'm going to look at the other side. Yeah, I should be able to use that. Alright. Sadly, because no hot glue gun, I have to use my soldering iron for this again. But I'm going to turn the temperature way down. There we go. And I don't know, I've never turned it down that low for this before. Maybe I gotta turn it back up. No, it seems to be melting just slowly. Alright. 250. 230. Now that's PLA on the outside, and I want the glue to melt, but not the PLA. Alright. 300. Which is hotter than the melting point of PLA. If I really didn't want the PLA to melt, I would have to stay under, what, 210, 200. But I don't feel like being here all night either. Why does that keep going back down? Now while it's still liquidy, make sure it's in a good position. Hold it there a minute. Maybe I should put some hot glue further down the pipe on this side. Okay. do the same on this side. How hot glue is hot. Sorry if I missed some of the camera angles. That's annoying. Okay. At least I wasn't pressing hard on anything when that blade came out. Alright. Give that a few minutes in position to cool. Temperature back up to 4 whatever. Or 15. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, now I don't think, did I pre-tin this side? Yeah, that looks pretty well pre-tinned. The ground. Do not burn your hands while trying to move around the camera. Pro tip. Now, hopefully this is long enough. Look at that. All the solder just said to hell with it. We don't want to be here. Yep. Well, I need to pre-tin again and actually get it right this time. Scuff up the bottom. Bring on the solder. Go. Believe me, it's better to find this out now than after it's all glued together. Alright. Yeah, fairly long enough. Might not reach the bottom of the pan. Okay. Line that up. Ta-da! That's how you do it right. Alright. No, we're still not going to glue it together yet because more testing is required. Alright, that is in position and it seems to be stable and solid. Now we find out whether or not I can solder. Oh, there we go. Alright, now I do have my Gorilla Glue here. And I will be using that to seal it up. But I think I'm going to give, because this is a different connector here than the one I normally use, and there's a lot of extra space there, I want to make sure it stays in position real well before I glue it down. So I'm going to give this a run through of usage. The hot glue isn't going to hold it real well. That is right there. But the Gorilla Glue will, but it should hold it together well enough for me to go on a bike ride or something with it later. Alright, and that's how I make a USB battery bank. Like I said, I'm not a professional. Be super careful when heating up batteries, especially the 18650 batteries. It's definitely not the best way to, but it does work. As little time as possible. That's kind of why, pre-tin. So that way when you're coming in with the cords, just stick it on there real quick, have the wire pre-tin, stick it on there, and it sticks. But yeah, it didn't work out for me this time. Alright, thank you, and I will try to make another video here shortly.